Well, there's a guy who said he wanted to debate me, and it's through the uh, collab, which I think means collaboration group. And so anyway, he told me he was going to come on, but he did not come on, and so that's the reason why I haven't been doing this debate, because he hasn't showed up. I sent him the link to be here, and I waited. I don't know. Maybe he might still show up. I've invited lots of my friends, relatives to come on and debate me about the death of Isa in the Quran. And you know what I thought I'll do is I thought I will go ahead and do this debate, even though, and hopefully somebody will show up. You know, I kind of put feelers out there, put lots of invitations out, and the thing that comes down to is that Muslims don't believe that Isa died. They don't believe that Jesus died. They believe Allah took him up to Jannah when they came to arrest him, and made somebody else look like him, and that other person was crucified in his place. Now you wonder where Muhammad got a crazy story like that. Well, there were Gnostic and not just Gnostic gospels, but there were also crazy teachings that were around at that time. One of them is called the Laughing Jesus. Now, the Laughing Jesus, I believe Basili. Let me see if I can find this guy. Um, um, it was a demonic teaching. Okay, there's a group called the Basilides, and these guys had some really weird ideas. It was a Christian Gnostic group from Egypt. Okay, and they let me see here, the Basilides. Okay, they were a Gnostic religious teacher from Alexandria, Egypt, who taught from 117 to 138 AD and claimed to have inherited the teachings of Saint Matthias. I doubt that very strongly. He was a pupil of either the Simonian teacher Menander or a supposed disciple of Peter named Glaucius. The Acts of the Disputation with Manes states that he taught among the Persians. According to the Agapius de Hierapolis, Agbia, that's what they call it in Arabic, 15th year of the Trajan reign, he wrote about 12 books about the follower of Basilidians formed a movement that persisted for at least 2 centuries after him. Epiphanius of Salamis, at the end of the 4th century, recognized a persistent Basilid presence over the Nile Delta in Egypt. It is probable, however, that the school melded into the mainstream of Gnosticism. Okay, one of the crazy teachings, Irenaeus, had the proposed hierarchy emanations of the unborn father. Okay, so excuse me a second, you guys. I just got to take this call. and I will be back with you in a second. This is from Gaza. So, okay, that's a friend of mine from the Gaza Strip. And so, okay. All right. Well, let's look at this here. It was kind of interesting, actually, for me. I've never. Irenaeus portrayed Basilides as a dualist or emanationist. Emanationist means that that emanations come out of God, and that from Irenaeus' perspective, hierarchy of emanations from the unborn father, Abraxas, resulting in multiple heavenly realms and angelic powers, with the Jewish God identified as one of these angels. He introduced Christ as a savior from the angelic rule, implying a replacement of Christ with Simon's Cyrene during the crucifixion. Okay, so here is the crazy teaching from Basilides. Basilides. Christ was a savior from the angelic rule, implying a replacement of Christ with Simon of Cyrene during the crucifixion. Okay, Epiphanius, the pseudo-Tertullian, contributed to this portrayal, associating Basilides with the mystic name Abraxas, contempt for the material reality. Okay. Existence by a desireless, passionless, not being God. Okay. These got a bunch of crazy theories here. Crazy heresies. Okay. But ethically, Basilides seems to have assigned faith as a natural trait rather than a conscious choice, and viewed sin and suffering as intrinsic to existence. He only conceived of evil as an inherent principle, even making Christ a sinful man. Wow. Okay. Well, the all that to say that these crazy ideas, like what we have in Islam today, where somebody replaced Jesus on the cross, that somebody was made to look like him, it was around before Muhammad, these ideas. And I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't come to Muhammad through Khadijah's cousin, Waraka bin Nawfal. He was an Ebionite. Real crazy ideas there about about Jesus, and probably in some of these kinds of crazy teachings too, that found their way into the Quran. So that's why Muslims believe that Jesus was not killed, but someone was made to look like him. That's not a unique Islamic teaching. It came from the Gnostic fairy tales, and so it existed long before Muhammad. And you could see how it came, I would say two possible ways: either Waraka bin Nawfal or the monk Buhaira gave it to Muhammad, and both of them were heretics. At least for a while, they were heretics. And Waraka bin Nawfal seems to have been one of those who was in league with Khadijah to form Muhammad into a leader, into a king or a prophet, or both. What happened is that Khadijah was kind of interested in having to unite all the disparate, or the separate Arabic tribes in Arabia. She wanted to unite them, and she was very rich, very powerful. And so she talked to the Jews and said, how can I make Muhammad into a king and get the people to accept the king? And the Jews said, well, why don't you follow the pattern of David? And with David, first of all, be a prophet. Then after they accept you as a prophet, become a king. And so there was that, and we read about this in several books about the way Khadija was shaping Muhammad, trying to make him into a king. So, so those are some of the the ways that these strange teachings that are in Islam, for instance, that that Allah made somebody look like him and all this, these fantasies and fables were around long before Islam, and they just kind of trickled into Islam because Muhammad heard them and then put them in the Quran. So, okay, you guys. Well, it doesn't look like our friend is going to show up. I thought I'd give him the benefit of the doubt. This is the second time today he didn't show up. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this right now. And I was kind of hoping that maybe one of my cousins or somebody would have showed up because I've invited lots of them to come and be with us as well. And so anyway, we'll try to see you later on tonight. So God bless you guys. Thanks for hanging around. Have a great day.